Good morning, everybody. Well, time and again, my viewers have suggested I put up a hoop house, and hoop house requires materials that I didn't have on hand. So I've come up with a solution that's working for us. We have freezing nights every night now since August. We've moved to a new homestead in Upper Michigan, and it's really harsh conditions here, so I have to cover my plants every night. So I've been experimenting through the weeks to come up with a solution that works for me, that is affordable and that is easy and fast to deal with. Because when I first got the plastic tarps, they were $2 a piece, and these are 3 mil. These are nice and thick plastic tarps. When I first got them, I was laying them down over the plants, and the first night the plants each night the plants sustained some damage when the plastic touched them. Anywhere the plastic touched, that part of the plant would be frozen and killed. So I've been playing around and experimenting. Also, another problem I had was the plastic was awkward to lay out. I've got holes here and there through the fence posts to keep it in place, and I would just pull off the plastic and throw it off in the side yard each morning, and then try to figure out what went where each night, and that was not working out for me. And again, I couldn't afford to buy the PVC pipes and all that junk for a proper hoop house, nor could I afford to get big rolls of plastic sheeting. So I've literally just bought 3 mil drop cloths. This could be done with the thinner drop cloths, but over here with the pea plants, you see that the thinner drop cloth shreds to pieces after one use. We've been trying to drape this up as much as we can using the shreds, and it shreds. Actually, the thin drop cloth from the dollar store shreds as you open it up from the package very often. This one here literally ripped in pieces as I opened it out of the package. So that was a failure. Don't get the cheap painter's drop cloth from the dollar store that's 1 mil or less. I don't know how thick that is, but it's absolute garbage. Okay? You gotta get, from my experience, the 3 mil is awesome. And I got this at a place called Wholesale Merchandise Outlet or something like that for $1.99 a piece. So this is my modified hoop house alternative here that is working greatly for me. And I'll show you how quick and easy it is for me to now uncover my plants in the morning, and then reversing it at night is just as fast and easy. Okay, so this is all it takes now. I have to keep the stakes down and keep the stuff from flying away in the wind. So I'll run down and take all the stakes out first. And where 2 pieces overlap, I just go through the same hole every night. Okay, that's done. Now the next step is simply to roll these up. Now, you can go and roll them upwards and meet at the top and tie it together, or you can do what I do and I roll them towards the stakes. Now, let me explain here what I've done. I had stakes on hand. I did not have the plastic materials. Now, you could use tree branches, you could use metal stakes. I have also fiberglass electric fence stakes. You can use scrap metal, you can use anything you have on hand, but you see that I have stakes up and down all the way along. And I'll get back to that in a minute once I clear the plastic off and I can show you better what I've done here. Now, most of my daily viewers have seen this and have watched the progression from me struggling with it on the ground to what I have now and how easy it is. So I'm going to start at the back because that's the last one I put over. Now again, you can roll it up or you can roll it sideways. Because I have the stakes here, for me it's easier to just roll it up sideways than upwards, because these are 12-foot long sheets. Now, if it's windy, and I'll demonstrate right now what I do if it's windy, I have little tie-down straps, which these little tie-down straps, which then I just, oh, they're all tangled in my pocket here. I just I roll this up and twist it a little, and then I come around and I clip the tie down together, and there. This isn't going anywhere at all. That is going to stay put. And so this is the easiest and fastest way that I found to protect my plants. Now these tomatoes were very bushy before the first freeze. They reached up almost to the top of the stake. But I lost a majority of my plants because of the first freeze we didn't know was coming. And we're new to this environment, and we have 40 and 50 degree temperature swings from day to night every day throughout the entire season. So in the peak of summer, when it was 80-90 degrees during the day, it wasn't that big of a problem. But when it dipped down to the 50s and 60s, we got down in the 20s at night here already in August. So I had to come up with a plan to save my plants, what's left of them, and this is the best thing I could come up with. I already had the stakes, which I put all the way along, and then I simply strung a rope all the way across, which gives me basically a pup tent form. All the way across from one end to the other. I tied it on the first stake, and then I wrapped it once around each stake in the middle on a tab. You can see if I can find one here for you. I've got them underneath, but see these tabs on the stakes. So there's a tab down here, and I have the rope securely resting on one of these tabs and tightly wrapped around so that it won't fall down. Now you can adjust that to the height you need, and as the growing season extends, as the plants grow, you can raise your rope as needed. This is really convenient. You see how quickly I wrap this up, and I'm done for the morning with my row of tomatoes. And again, we had freezing last night. It was in the 30s, low 30s. Like, we didn't hit 28 again, but it was in the 30s. And I have live growing and ripening tomatoes on the vine. Okay, some of these plants are still growing. A lot of the flowers and buds were killed, but you can see here that I still have some little babies coming along. So there is new growth still forming on the vine, and I still have the tomatoes growing happily. And I'll continue this on until this no longer works for me. We get the extreme temperature swings because this is sandy soil, and so it's like the desert. You have extreme heat in the day and extreme cold at night. So when the sun comes up, I have to get out here fast. And that's why I had to come up with something that was easier, because draping the plastic on was not working out for me at all. I had to hurry up. So here we have our modified hoop house variant, which allows me to save my tomatoes and extend the growing season long after it's been freezing. And now I can work with ease every day. Saves a lot of time. Total cost to me, because I had the stakes on hand, was $8 to protect my garden. Now, that was the only investment I had to make. If I did not have the metal stakes, I could have used tree branches, which anybody can get for free, mostly around in most countries in the world, or bamboo, or scrap metal posts, whatever you can find, and then a piece of rope, which I already had on hand, or you can get some decent rope at the dollar store. And as simple as just drape it over the rope in a frame like this, and you've got a pup tent form. The key is not letting the plastic touch the tomatoes. You can see from previously during my early experiments, anywhere where the plastic touched the tomato plant, it was killed. That growth was killed due to the cold. But right under it is fine. So I know a lot of people talk about putting blankets on their plants, but blankets would crush your plants and be very heavy and awkward from the dew. It is very, very wet. And honestly, I don't think I'd be doing that alone anymore at that point. The blankets would just be too messy here because of how extremely wet it gets here. There you go, guys. A very affordable, budget, modified hoop house to protect your plants and extend your growing season. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Talk to you later.